The young black man was very good-looking. Tall and lithe with a fine pair of shoulders, he kept himself in shape with regular workouts. He sat at the square wooden table in the interview room, long supple hands clasped in his lap, his body erect and his handsome face impassive. His suit was well cut, with an immaculate white shirt and a neat, precise knot in his tie. He was very calm, very sure of himself. The remote-control video camera high in one corner recorded all this, as he tilted his head back slightly, looking straight into the eyes of the woman opposite with just a hint of lazy insolence. She stared back unflinchingly. "I am Detective Chief Inspector Jane Tennison, attached to Southampton Row Police Station. We're in the interview room at Southampton Row. I am interviewing." She leaned her elbows on the table. "Would you please state your full name and date of birth?" When the man didn't respond, she patiently tried again, in the same quiet, unhurried tone. "Will you please state your full name and date of birth?" "Robert Oswald, the 13th of August, 1961. From his appearance you might have expected an educated voice, but it was a strong Jamaican accent, the T's and D's heavily emphasized. "You're entitled to speak to a solicitor at any time," Tennison informed him, "and this legal advice is free." Oswald stared back, black man to white woman, the insolence in his dark eyes almost like a blatant sexual challenge. There was a dumpster half filled with rubbish outside number 15 Honeyford Road, so the police car was parked at an angle, its rear end sticking out into the street. Already within minutes of its arrival, a small crowd was gathering in the late afternoon November gloom, peering out from under umbrellas, as the drizzle thickened and swirled in the sodium-yellow streetlights. The neighbourhood was mainly West Indian, with a sprinkling of Asians, and rumour spread much faster here than it might have done in a white middle-class area. And ever since the Derek Cameron case a few years ago, any police activity aroused curiosity and suspicion in equal measure. The presence of white cops didn't mean protection for the local community. It invariably spelled trouble. The front door of number 15 was wide open, with a uniformed policeman on the top step and his colleague in the hallway talking to the builder, or trying to hear him, which was difficult with Mr. Viswanda, the house owner, gabbling away in Urdu on the phone. His wife and their 2 children stood shivering and bewildered in the foyer, the draft from the front door whipping through the house. "One of my men found it." The builder jerked a grimy thumb towards the rear. "We're laying new drains. Seems to be wrapped in polythene." The crowd at the garden gate was growing by the minute. Several young black kids had climbed on the wall, trying to peer through the open door. One had propped his bike against the gatepost and was jostling for a position. The murmur and rumble of voices continued under the pattering of rain on the umbrellas and plastic hoods, as the drizzle turned into a steady downpour. Then a real buzz rose. 2 cars had pulled up. Criminal Investigation Department officers piling out, shouldering their way through the crowd. Rumour and speculation were rife now. The heavy mob didn't show up unless a serious crime had been committed, and by the look of it, this was shaping up to be the most serious of all. As the officers came through, the young boy with the bike piped up, "Have the Packies murdered someone?" Detective Inspector Frank Birkin didn't break his stride. "Shut up and move that bike." The kid's older brother, wearing a beaded cap with dreadlocks trailing down, wasn't too thrilled with Birkin's attitude. "What makes you think you can talk to him like that?" he burst out angrily. "We live here, man, not you. What is he with you?" Impatiently, D.I. Tony Muddiman pushed past, leaving Birkin to argue with the youth. Diplomacy never was top priority on Birkin's list. But why the hell did he have to alienate the local community the minute he planted his size 11s on Honeyford Road? He thought. Getting people's backs up was no way to start. Mr. Viswanda had finished on the phone and met Muddiman as he came through the front door. Eyes glittering, head jerking back and forth, the Indian watched the file of men troop past him down the hall. "You in charge?" For the time being, sir, Muddyman nodded. Then please. Mr. Viswander's brown, plump hands paddled the air nervously. Just take it away. We will, sir, as soon as possible. Not as soon as possible. He glanced at his wife, hugging the 2 children to her, a boy of 7 and a girl of 5. Now, I pay my poll tax. I'm afraid it's a suspicious death, sir, and as such all this has to be done properly. Muddyman beckoned a detective constable forward. Now, will you go with this officer and answer his questions, please? With a nod to Mrs. Viswander, Muddyman went on. He always tried to be polite, especially with the ethnics. But why was it that he always felt he had to compensate for Birkin's crass, insensitive behaviour, as if the bloody job wasn't hard enough?